is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it
up,
that we
give
do?
the people what they want.
We will discuss the Al Horford game in Milwaukee in a second, but we start where the action ended last night. Jalen, the Grizzlies had a lead throughout the game until the waning seconds. Take us through what you saw here.
Well, Steph Curry attacking the basket, being aggressive. He had a terrific ending to the game, and obviously he's an amazing free throw shooter. And if you're Memphis, this is a golden opportunity that got away from you. I know you don't like
I hate it.
the Desmond Bane call, but it is a foul.
No!
I know you and our producer, Brandy, feel like it's not a foul.
That's a flop.
She stopped even playing it.
It's another four-letter word that starts with an F. It is a flop.
No, it's
Director Brandy, play it again.
He
it is
sold
a
it.
flop.
Yeah, he sold
He
it.
didn't touch. Look at. He did not extend his arms. He did not extend his arms.
Let me tell you what you actually do.
Watch his arms.
Giannis
Watch
as
his
a player.
arms.
What you do,
Didn't extend him.
I'm gonna tell you what you do though.
No.
You go next to him. You kindly put your hip next to his hip, and you just kind of just let the ball come over. So soon as your hands come away from your body,
They didn't come away from his body.
they're gonna call it. I mean, I know a lot of people feel like this is like a major play that cost Memphis the game, but they had the lead. They were playing terrific, and all of the things that you wanted from a team without John Morant was happening the first three quarters.
Exactly.
It was happening. And unfortunately, when you're going against the Warriors on their home floor, they made timely plays. And I want to shout out Draymond Green. I know he's playing with a heavy heart. Lost his brother, Adrian Payne. Had 2 points in the game. I applaud him still being out there for his teammates. But again, Steph Curry was the difference. And when you don't have Ja to be the closer, I just really believe like that was the key.
And people talk about Jordan Poole and how important he is, and Klay Thompson having big games and what Draymond brings. But let's not forget about Wardell, Stephen Curry.
And it's timely buckets. I believe, what do you have? 18 points in the fourth quarter. And so he pick and chose his spots. Wiggins had a really good game, an active game. And I talked about that early in the series, his activity, tapping balls, getting offensive boards, making open shots, just being aggressive. That's what they want from Wiggs. If you ever watch the Golden State Warriors do an interview, they always talk about, we ask him, we want him, we beg him to be more aggressive. So it was good to see him play well.
Warriors played some good defense as well against the Grizzlies, made things difficult for them, especially in the fourth quarter. Things were going so right, as you mentioned, the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, they started locking up.
In particular on Jaren Jackson Jr., and like he's a guy you hope to see make plays. It was good to see them not be able to close the deal. Just reminded me of Memphis during the regular season playing without Ja versus the playoffs. And here's what I mean. If you're a student, your GPA is a reflection of your effort. If you show up every day, you give an honest effort, you have a good attitude, like you're gonna pass. But test taking is a skill. And so you have to train yourself for that skill. You're sitting there for 2 hours at a time, 3 hours at a time, 4 hours at a time. Like those are just things that you normally don't do. So that's a learned behavior. I bring that up because the regular season in the NBA is about effort.
Grizzlies put out the effort.
If you play hard and you're going to get points in the paint and second chance
Rebound,
points and fast
that.
break points, and like they're one of the fastest teams in the league. So that's the regular season. That's the marathon. But in the playoffs, it's about your skill and your best players. And the difference in yesterday's game is they were playing well. But then the best player for the Golden State Warriors was able to close the deal because Memphis didn't have their best player in John Morant.
They didn't have John Morant because of an incident with Jordan Poole. There's a lot of discussion about that. Did he grab the knee? Did he mean to grab the knee? Did he have the code? Did he keep the code? Did he break the code? Blah, 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 blah. There's a handshake between the two of them. What does that mean to you?
It means an olive branch of some things that people may or may not know. John Morant plays with Triple J, where Triple J played with Poole in high school. You know, Triple J also went to Michigan State along with Draymond Green. They didn't play together, but I'm just saying they share that fellowship. And so, like, these are also human beings away from the floor. And I liked that it wasn't no hug and kiss, kumbaya type of thing. It was just more like he walking past you, cool.
I'll acknowledge you exist. You agnowledge I exist. No bad feelings. But let's not make a huge deal out of it.
And
It's
I am missing tonight's game, so I'm mad at everybody. You see, I'm missing tonight's game. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at me. I'm mad at everybody. You don't think John he understood the importance of that game? Mm-hmm. They're down 3-1, right?
They're down 3-1. It should be 2-2.
That means it's Luther, babe. That means this is over now. Like, this series is over. Yeah, they're not coming back from 3-1.
You don't think they're going to win 3 in a row?
No.
I don't think so either. Moving on to another series. This one, tightly contested. Going back and forth and back and forth. And it was Giannis Antetokounmpo and Al Horford who went back and forth in this one. First, we have Giannis dunking all over Al, staring at him, talking to him, nodding at him. Guess what that did, Jalen Rose?
It got Al Horford going.
Got Al Horford going.
Say that with your chest. The guy that was a member of the Oklahoma. And by the way, just so y'all know, when y'all watch the playoffs, just remember this. A couple of seasons ago, Chris Paul and then Al Horford were both playing for OKC.
Yep.
Just think about that for a second. Now both of these guys in their own right are starring in the playoffs. Chris Paul struggled his last couple of games, obviously. But I'm so happy for Al Horford because he's going against Giannis.
The best player in basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
The best basketball player.
Correct. The guy I call the best player in basketball.
Oh, okay. It's not even a question.
And the thing is, in all phases, playing D against him, shooting threes against him, playing mid-range against him. And did you see the old fella dunk on him?
But if you said don't poke the bear, I wouldn't think the bear would be Al Horford. I thought the bear would be Giannis.
Hey, you know what? Did you see the old young fella dunk on him?
Don't disrespect Al Horford
the old
like
young
that.
Fella. You see the
Don't disrespect Al Horford like that.
And by the way, on that play, Giannis was in the backcourt playing Twister with Marcus Smart on the ground. Mm-hmm. Al Horford was running the floor. And look at most playoff games before his first 30-point game. That was not expected.
132.
That was not.
And they need every one of those 32.
They needed each and every. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for them. And here's the thing. Milwaukee is playing without Chris Middleton.
Yes.
And the thing that. The reason why I felt that the Celtics legitimately would win this series is that reason. And let me tell you why. Like Giannis, when you talk about finishing in the paint, like he's probably the best in the game, the most dominant finisher in the game, right? Him and Drew Holiday took 30 shots in their previous game to win. And watching how they got those shots, threes or layups. Yep. Or dunks, or free throws when they went to the line. What does Middleton do so great?
Mid-range.
Unlocks the rest of the floor.
Yep.
So it's like a great defense, right? Have a great defensive lineman, great linebacker core, great secondary. They're missing a linebacker. Mm-hmm. And Chris Middleton. The thing about, you know how much you and I, at the mid-range, look at CP3, look at DeRozan, look at Middleton. Like, we love, look at KD when he's going. It's like, it looks different. And that's what they're missing. He's a ball handler. He's a scorer. And I know a lot of people don't give him the credit that he deserves as the second best player that just won a championship. But he's a multi-time All-Star and legitimized that. Well, and you're going to miss him.
We all love Ja Morant, right? Because of the highlights. And we love Jokic because of the highlight passes.
Good
but
point.
Middleton, it's just
thank you.
Not a lot of highlights. He's like a Jalen Rose player. A lot of buckets.
Right, okay.
Very productive. Yep. Just not a lot of highlights.
Correct. No highlights.
But someone you want on your team, but maybe not going to make the highlight reel.
Correct.
When we're putting together
no double pump dunks, no backwards dunks. He's not catching
no step
lobs.
back threes.
I'm telling you, dog. I used to play in games, and if a team was fronting me on the post, I used to be like, man, I'm like, and then I'd be thinking, why are more teams doing this? I can't jump. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing that's gonna happen.
You mentioned an incident between Marcus Smart and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we're gonna play the tape, and I want you to break down exactly what's going on between these two competitors.
Well, a lot of hold me back, and then a lot of play twister, and then a lot of they both really tired.
I like that last part.
Yeah,
this is my favorite, though.
They're both
you
tired,
help me up, I help you up. You're kicking me in the head.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
He's like, man, I ain't got time
Just
to be
leave me
playing with you,
alone.
dog. Right. I tried to help you all I can, but I can't do nothing for you, man. I love that so much. Great fellowship between the Defensive Player of the Year. And again, I'm really happy for Ime Udoka.
Yep.
Because, by the way, let's talk another thing that unlocked Al Horford's game. No Robert Williams III. That means more minutes at the 5. See, a lot of times they play both of those guys together. And Grant Williams' ability to play multiple people defensively allows that to happen. And so for Al Horford to show up the way he did against the team that he did is extremely impressive for the Celtics to tie this series.
There's some breaking news about the GOAT, Tom Brady. We last saw at the F1 race in Miami. Well, this is interesting. He has officially signed on to be a Fox Sports analyst when he retires. He's not retired. He retired for about 45 minutes this summer, unretired, back with the Bucks after some drama with the Dolphins, and now he's preemptively signed to be an analyst for Fox Sports.
I have 2 words: blank check.
Oh, yeah.
That's he
he don't have enough money.
He like, y'all gonna pay me how much?
I work 2 days a week?
I'm gonna work like 50 times?
Yeah,
and y'all about to give me $100 million? Just think about it. Y'all, he gonna work 50 times.
Jalen, you're the best analyst in the game.
Thank you, brother.
The best sports analyst in the game.
Thank you, brother.
But you are not the best player. And those two things aren't always correlated.
Okay, that's fair.
Tom Brady is the best quarterback to ever play. I don't know if he's going to be the best analyst, though. That doesn't necessarily always work out that
definitely.
way.
No,
doesn't always work out
like
that
player
way.
and coaches or anything else. He still got to put in the work. This is a tough profession.
We wish him the best.
Yeah, we do.
Part of the Michigan family.
Hail to the victors, baby. Keep getting them checks.
Did I go to Michigan? I feel like I went to Michigan.
You did.
I must have gone to Michigan.
Exactly. Honorary
Michigan.
doctorate.
Jalen Rose, you mentioned CP3's struggles in Game 3 and Game 4 in Dallas. A lot of drama surrounding him on and off the court. What will that translate into in Game 5? Jalen will tell you right after this. You're watching Jalen and Jacoby. Coming to you live above the Heineken River Deck here at Pier 17, New York City. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, I did not expect the Suns-Mavs series to be tied at 2-2 heading back to Phoenix, but that's exactly where we are. However, there's a new wrinkle. Monty Williams, Coach of the Year, Mr. Rose. You surprised?
I'm not surprised at all, and well deserved. If you really look at what he's done in Phoenix since he got there, they went from a team that was outside of the bubble, finishing strong. I think they won 7 or 8 in a row. That created a foundation of a culture that then welcomed, and shout to Jay Hoops, James Jones, their GM, who's done a terrific job. That was the catalyst to bringing CP3 there. So the professional part is what people can't overlook. CP had to go and take care of his business in OKC. Monty had to go take care of his business in Phoenix. And D-Book had to take care of his business in the end of the bubble. And so now when all of those things happen, you can reunite CP with Monty in Phoenix. And then you watch how not only regular season-wise, but leading them to the finals last year and the development of young players like Ayton and Bridges and Cam Johnson and Cam Payne. He's done a terrific job, and they're still in pole position by a lot of people's accounts to come out of the West this year.
So, Jalen, Chris Paul, remember the 14-for-14 game against the Pelicans?
Yes.
Game 1 and Game 2, just the conductor conducting the orchestra that is the Suns offense. Didn't look the same in Game 3 and Game 4.
Not only did he not look the same, but he was historically bad for his own standard because in one of those games he had 7 turnovers in the first half, and in the second game he had 4 fouls in the first half and fouled out with more fouls than points.
Wild. 5.6 fouls.
More fouls than points. So I'm pretty sure he's happy to be back in Phoenix looking for revenge. And by the way, they better come to play. Because the one thing that I noticed about this series is Luka's going to continue to be unstoppable.
Yes.
And when he can score against anybody and post up against anybody, that distorts your defense. It's one thing when he's posting up Cameron Payne. It's another thing he's posting up Cameron Johnson.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
He's just as comfortable either way.
Correct.
He's just as comfortable either way.
And everybody in between, including CP3 and Bridges.
And he didn't have a great Game 4, but he still had the ball in his hands, and he was getting other people involved and just willing them to win.
Well, them knocking down threes and so many people doing so,
crazy.
Finney Smith and Dinwiddie.
Your man, Bertans.
Bertans was
Your
knocking
guy,
out there.
Bertans.
Yeah, Bertans. Give Bertans some love, man. That's your man. And Jalen Brunson making timely plays. I mean, it was a total team effort. Reggie Bullock defensively has to get a lot of credit on what he's done for CP3 and Jason Kidd as a coach, navigating this roster. And so for Phoenix, I think they're going to be enthusiastic to return home. I expect the Suns to respond.
I expect the Suns to win this evening. I definitely expect.
I expect them to respond too.
Yeah. I mean, the Mavs just can't shoot like they shot in Game 4. Like the first half of Game 4 was getting stupid at one point. I was just like, they're just hitting everything.
Right.
Like they were collectively.
Yeah, they made 23s in that game.
Another series I did not expect to be 2-2 after 4 games. Sixers and the Heat. Jalen, James Harden, revitalized. Can he continue the momentum that he built in Game 4 and perform like he did then in Miami tonight?
So what I've seen from James Harden is what I love about sports. I want to see somebody show resilience when it matters the most. That to me is what now makes you an all-star player, an all-NBA player, an MVP player, a max player. And so it was one thing for him to finally score the way he scored, but I appreciated when it happened and how it happened, because he was a first half, first quarter type of scorer, getting majority of his points, and then not really getting points and not really taking over and not showing emotion and not being aggressive and kind of being passive offensively. He's a great playmaker. He's a great. He getting it to Danny Green when Danny Green making 7 threes. He advancing it to Maxey. He's trying to feed Embiid. He's been a really good playmaker. But they need James Harden, I don't care what anybody say, to score the ball.
He does.
They're gonna need him to score the ball. And that's going to be the game changer. And Tobias Harris been playing really well for them too. But I have to say something about the Heat. While Jimmy Butler has been fantastic offensively, and I believe he had 40 in the previous game, that's really not how they play. Featuring one guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think that was something that they were able to do on the road. Put Jimmy at the 5. He's guarded by Embiid. See if we can get out of here with a win. But I think when they go back to Miami, they're going to get back to more conventionally of who they are and what they do. But 2 players that I'm watching in their rotation, I'm watching Kyle Lowry and his health and his productivity or lack thereof, and also PJ Tucker. If those guys aren't going to give me offense, they're going to give me toughness and championship level pedigree. And of course, they're seasoned vets if they're in the game. But if they're not going to give me stats, you know what I'm saying? They become liabilities offensively. So what I anticipate, a chess move, I saw Gabe Vincent miss a couple of timely shots. You know what I mean? I saw Victor Oladipo miss a couple of timely shots. It kind of like could have swung the momentum. You kick it to them. It's like, oh, you got to hit that, Gabe, and he missed it. Duncan Robinson sitting over there. He's only played 1 minute in this series. I believe when you return home, not only do your role players clearly play a lot better in front of their fans, but it's going to be the perfect chance for him to have his Finney Smith type game, where he comes in and makes 5, 6, 7 threes and help lift the Heat. So watch for that as a possible adjustment.
Jalen, we just celebrated Monty Williams winning Coach of the Year in the NBA.
Yep.
Caesars Sportsbook has a favorite for Coach of the Year in the NFL. The knee biter. Dan Campbell.
We're not doing this.
Dan Campbell.
We're not doing this.
Is favorite for Coach of the Year.
We're not doing this.
Jalen Rose just unplugged his IFB.
I'm not doing this.
What are you not doing? What are you not doing?
But because,
what are you not doing?
Here's the thing. Like, y'all get to parachute in and watch the Lions for the draft and give us an A+.
This is the best 2 weeks of your Lions season. You won the draft, and now you have a favorite for Coach of the Year. This is as good as it's going to get. This is good as it's going to get. As a Lions fan, celebrate this.
This is so Lions, and I'll give
them the roar.
And I love our young draft picks, and I got to get an Aiden Hutchinson jersey. But I will say this. Who was the preseason Coach of the Year last year?
I have no idea.
Okay. See?
I should have didn't know winning Coach of the Year. We'll be back right after this on Thursday. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, every day that Brittany Griner is still detained in Russia, we will acknowledge it, and here we are. 82 days.
82 days. These days are piling up so many that they're getting sad to say. So we here at Jalen and Jacoby just wish her a speedy, safe return to the United States.
Jalen, I started my career working on the ESPY Awards here at ESPN. It's something that's always important to me, and the Jimmy V Award is one of the most important moments in the history of that award show, and Dick Vitale is going to be awarded.
For everybody that don't know, he watches this show. And also, he's a legend. He coached at the University of Detroit. I've known about him and his fashion and his coaching and his puns since I was a shorty, before I even got to college. And I couldn't wait to him call one of my games and call me a PTP. I couldn't wait.
Did he ever call you PTP?
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? No question. I love you, Dickie.
It's time for Show Me Some Shohei. Shohei Ohtani continues to be the most undercovered story in sports, and it continues. Shohei Ohtani didn't hit a home run. He hit 2 home runs. Had a grand slam, and he's one of the best pitchers in the league.
He's trending toward GOAT status because he's also, just so you guys that don't know, an elite pitcher also.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's incredible. We have to go watch him play.
ESPN2 every day, 4 p.m. Tune in tomorrow.
This just in. The Sixers and Heat start off a great night of Game 5. Will Game 4, James Harden show up again? Will Embiid show everyone who should have won MVP? Can the Heat win without Lowry? Giannis rose on the wrong dude. And Al Horford made the defending champs pay. Who's got the edge now? And Tom Brady will be TV Tom when he finally hangs it up. But what does this mean about when that's going to be? Let's go.